Daddy, the little girl's one word, stopped the entire city's breath. But no one knew. The real storm had already started long before that moment. Rain pressed against the cracked window, like impatient fingers trying to get inside. Inside the small apartment, a woman counted coins with shaking hands, as if numbers could save a life. One more bill, one more hospital slip, one more impossible choice. Her name was Alina, but the world had reduced her to something smaller: late rent, failed marriage, single mother. The labels clung tighter than the cold air slipping through the broken frame. On the bed behind her, a little girl coughed softly. "Mommy, don't worry," the child whispered with a smile too bright for a room that smelled like medicine and exhaustion. "I'll get better before the stars stop blinking, okay?" Alina didn't turn around. If she did, she would break. She had learned that truth years ago. Instead, she pressed her fingers harder into the coins, as if pain could be converted into time. A sudden vibration cut through the silence. Her phone. Unknown number. Her breath froze, not hope, not fear, something worse. "Experience," she answered. A calm male voice came through, too polished, too rehearsed. "We received your application for event staff. You are selected." Alina blinked. "I didn't apply anywhere." A pause, not confusion, calculation. "You were recommended," the voice replied. "High-profile private function. One night. Good pay." The amount followed. It was enough to cover everything and still feel suspicious. Alina's eyes drifted toward her daughter. One night could buy time. Time could buy miracles, or at least delay grief. "I'll do it," she said before fear could negotiate. But when she hung up, the room felt different, as if something unseen had just stepped inside. The hospital corridor smelled like sterilized hopelessness. A doctor spoke gently, too gently, as if softness could reduce impact. "The condition is progressing faster than expected." Alina nodded like she understood, like she had already died once and was used to the sensation. Her daughter Myra sat on the examination bed, swinging her small legs. Tubes marked her skin like invisible chains, but her eyes still searched the world for beauty. "Mommy," Myra said suddenly, "why do adults always look like they forgot something important?" Alina forced a smile. "Because they're busy." Myra tilted her head. "Or maybe they lost someone." That sentence hit Alina harder than any diagnosis ever had. A flicker in the hallway window caught her attention. Reflected glass. Movement outside. A black car. Expensive, silent, watching, gone in the next second. Alina told herself it was nothing. But fear rarely arrives as certainty. It arrives as repetition. That evening, the relative visit came like a funeral, disguised as concern. They sat in her small apartment like judges in borrowed bodies. Her aunt sighed first. "We told you not to marry him." Another voice followed. "Some women bring their own downfall." Alina stayed silent. They weren't here to help. They were here to confirm their distance from her pain. Myra, however, offered cookies she couldn't afford, smiling like the world had never been cruel to her. "Eat, Auntie," she said softly. "Mommy says sharing makes people less angry." The room went quieter, not because of kindness, but because innocence exposes cruelty. One relative stood abruptly. "We can't keep watching this. It's too much." And just like that, they left. No goodbye, no promise, only the sound of a door deciding she no longer belonged. Alina didn't cry. She had stopped crying when crying stopped changing anything. But when she turned back, she saw Myra still smiling. And that almost destroyed her. Night arrived slowly, like it was unsure whether to stay. Alina ironed a borrowed uniform for the event. Black fabric, clean lines, a mask for the invisible. Myra watched from the bed. "Mommy, where are you going?" "Work," Alina replied. Myra's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "The kind where rich people pretend they don't see poor people." Alina almost laughed. Almost. Something like that. Myra lay back, then suddenly spoke again, so softly it almost wasn't sound. "If I get better, can we go somewhere where nobody leaves?" Alina froze. That question did not belong to a child. It belonged to someone who had already been abandoned too many times. She walked over and kissed her forehead. "We will," she lied gently. And lies, when spoken with love, feel like survival. The limousine arrived at exactly 7:03 p.m. Black, immaculate, unreal in a neighborhood where even streetlights struggled to stay alive. Alina hesitated before entering. The driver didn't speak. That silence felt intentional. Inside, the air was colder than outside. Not temperature, something else. Control. The car moved. And with every turn, the city behind her looked less like home and more like something she had survived. The event location rose from the ground like a monument to people who never lose. Glass towers, marble entrance, guards who didn't blink. Alina adjusted her uniform, suddenly aware of how small she was. Inside, chandeliers hung like frozen stars. Music flowed without emotion. People smiled without warmth. And then she felt it. Not saw it, not heard it, felt it. A presence that changed the temperature of the room. Men stepped aside without realizing why. Conversation lowered without permission. Alina turned slowly, and that's when she saw him. A man in a dark suit stood near the center of the hall. Not loud, not dramatic. Stillness surrounded him like authority made physical. But that wasn't what froze her. It was the face. Something about it made her stomach drop, not fear, recognition, that made no sense. Her breath caught. Across the room, Myra, who had somehow come with her despite instructions, tugged her sleeve. "Mommy," the girl whispered. Alina barely turned. Myra's eyes were locked on the man. Confused, certain, afraid in a way she couldn't explain. "Why does that man," Myra's voice trembled slightly. Look exactly like me.